What's up, FOA Squad? I'm Anthony, and welcome to our channel, Life with Anthony. I hope you guys are doing well out there. Happy Monday to you guys. I actually made this video yesterday, but my thoughts were all over the place that it probably would not have made a lot of sense to many of you out there. So I decided to redo the video today once I had a little bit of time to collect my thoughts so that I can better present my thoughts to you guys so that you will understand exactly what I'm talking about. All right, so living this lifestyle, to me, should come with certain benefits. And for me, the benefit of living this lifestyle is trying to give myself a better financial security. Most of you know that technically I have about 5 years before I can officially retire. And I need to figure out or go about the best way of securing my financial future in those 5 years. So I have given it so much thought as to which direction will help me to better my financial security, as well as which direction will also coincide with my personality and the way that I like to live. Now, I have mentioned on this channel, on our channel several times that I am not the person that likes to be out and about all the time, living this lifestyle. And in the past 10 months since I was able to leave my job, I look at this 10 months as a test run, as can I actually be out there all the time? And even though I spent a lot of the past 10 months at campgrounds and really wasn't out on a daily basis, driving from city to city and place to place, it still gave me an idea of being out there and being away from my home base. The hardest part for me in living this lifestyle is deciding what to do next, where to go next. It's occupying all of your time because you literally have control over every waking moment and minute of your time. And you have to decide how to occupy that time. And that process can become very tedious at times, as it is for me, or almost there for me, you know. As much as I enjoy the campground scene, yes, that too can become a little tedious, you know, finding out what campground to go to next, how much that campground costs, and all of those things that are associated with, you know, going and visiting different campgrounds. As well as, you know, I need a change of scenery, you know, every now and then. Or more than an every now and then situation. So I've been thinking really hard the past few days at what direction I really want to take. Now, I've spoken to you guys about maybe getting a permanent site at a campground, but of course there seem to be wait lists for every campground. And I'm glad it is a wait list because it gives me time to rethink and see if that is the direction that I really want to take as well. Most of you know that I am a person that likes to be stationary as well as a routine person. When I was working, I had a routine. And it made this lifestyle a lot easier, or I should say less challenging. Not necessarily easier, but less challenging. When you have a part of your day that you went to work, you didn't have to be in your vehicle, you got off from work, and if you can remember, I was on second shift, which was the perfect shift, in my opinion, to live this lifestyle because you work from the middle of the day until 11:30 p.m., which was my case. And so it fit very well with the lifestyle. I got off from work at 11:30. I went to my parking spot. Everybody was already asleep for the night, and it was very easy for me to park somewhere. And then in the mornings, I would get up and start my day. I had a certain number of hours before I had to be back at work, 3 p.m. in the afternoon. And it just worked out really, really well for me. And I even had time to continually make videos, because when I left out of the apartment in September of 2021 and moved into my SUV, I was still pumping out videos almost every single day while working 7 days a week, 12-hour shifts, and all of that stuff. And not saying that it was easy, but it wasn't that difficult because I was on a routine. I knew when I was going to make videos. I knew when I was going to go to the library and the gym and all the other things that I needed to do on a daily basis. So it worked out well. That lifestyle and that routine incorporated with living in my vehicle, I like that. And that's something that I want to get back into. As much as it may sound like it's so good to have all of your time and be able to travel and do this and do that, it really depends on your individuality and your personality, which direction and how you choose to live this lifestyle. So, with all of this being said, I'm looking to go back to work. When I was working, again, I felt a sense of stability. I had a job that paid my health insurance. I had to pay very little. And, it just right now makes sense to me. I think that looking back at all of it, I needed a break from work. That's exactly what I needed. I needed a break from work, but a longer break than what a job would have allowed me to take. Yes, I could have taken a 3-month leave of absence, but that would not have been long enough for me. So I needed like a year or so, a year or so off. My job before I left, the general manager himself came up to me and told me that if ever I wanted to come back, to give him a call. And those are the type of relationships that you establish when you are a good worker. You can go back to your job. And I am thinking about going back to printing. I do know that my job, or my old job, I should say at this point, is getting a new press installed in August. And I do know that they are going to need some people, because one thing that I did observe about the job in the almost 3 years that I was there is that it was hard for them to get people there. And when they, and when they got people there, it was hard for them to keep people there. It wasn't back in the days where a press room crew was there for 30, 40 years. Nowadays, these young cats, they either hire the young cats that come in, work a couple months and decide that that's not what they want to do, or they will hire the much older guys who is near retirement and they don't have long to go. So it's very difficult to get hire people in the printing industry, because no one's coming out of college these days and going into printing. So I know that I'm pretty confident that I can probably get a job back there. So that is the direction that I am going to take. I like being stationary. I like having a sense of stability. And the other reason why it will just work out so much better for me than the situation that I'm in now, where I can just free willy it, is because I don't feel 100% comfortable in putting my financial future in the hands of YouTube. I don't. And as grateful and humble as I am that you guys have allowed me to take the much needed time that I needed from work, and that's exactly my new way of looking at it now is you guys have allowed me to take that much needed break over a year from work, and I do appreciate that so much. And even though my plans was to leave the job, and I just needed a break. I mean, sometimes that's all you need. You need a long, long, long break. Now, I do want to touch on this a little bit, that if that is my final plan, is to go back into the printing industry, or I will be going back with a different mentality. I will be in a different financial space now. I'm much better financially than when I left there. I'm in a position that if I go there and decide that it was not the right thing to do, it was not the right move for me to do, then I can leave. So it's gonna give me that sense of, okay, I don't need to be here. You know, prior to that, I had to be there. I had to work. I had to make money. I had to pay my bills. I was in an apartment for my first 2 years of working there. This time around would be completely different. I will walk up in there as if, okay, don't get on my don't get on my nerves. Don't get on my nerves. You know, it's just completely different when you are in a different financial place and a different place of need, as opposed of wanting to go back to work. And I don't need to go back to work. I want to go back to work. So it makes those two factors make all the difference in the world when making the decision to, go back into work. Now, I could just go and get a part-time job, but a part-time job, and there are part-time jobs that offer health benefits and all of those things, but you have to do a certain number of hours and all of that stuff to get that qualify for that. But a full-time job is more beneficial. Yes, you'll be working more, but at the same time, it will be taking up a lot more of my time, and that time will be stationed. I mean, I know when I will have to go to work, and I know the time that I have to make videos and continue the YouTube FOA community. So I think that's the plan. Now, when will this happen? First of all, as confident as I am that I can get a job back at the printing company, that doesn't mean that I'm going to get a job. I can say that I'm confident, but at the time that I'm ready to go back, they may not need nobody else, so then I would have to take another direction. And if that be the case, I would go for the part-time positions, because I would have more opportunities out there to find part-time work, as opposed to trying to find, okay, I won't be in the printing industry no more, so what other type of full-time job would I like? And it would be just easier to find a part-time job, like at a Lowe's or something, or Home Depot, or a grocery store, or something of that nature. But my first plan of attack is to see if I can go back to my old job. Now, I don't know how surprising this might be for many of you guys. Maybe it's not surprised at all. Maybe it is a surprise to some of you guys that I'm choosing to do this direction. But for those of you who it is a surprise to, and you have been around long enough and you know me, you know that I like stability, and this is what this lifestyle for me, the whole purpose of this lifestyle for me is to gain better financial security for myself. And I think this route will even help me better, because just think of this. If I get my full-time job back at the printing company, I can save every single penny of that money that I make there, along with my YouTube earnings. What better way to better secure my financial security in the next 5 years than being able to do that? So that's my plan. But in the meantime, now let me share when. My target is September, because I'm not giving up my summer. This will probably be the last summer within within the next 5 years that I will have completely to myself. And not only that, I've already booked and paid for all of my campground stays at Hillside Campground Site in northern Pennsylvania. So I'm not going to cancel that. And it also is going to allow me in between those campground visits to do some heavy traveling in between those visits. And so my plan now is to continue on with the campground visits in Hillside. And in between those visits, I am going to get my travel on, whether it's going to be flying somewhere, whether it's going to be another cruise, whether it's going to be a road trip somewhere. I do not plan on being still the entire summer. I would like to go back to Vegas and visit Vegas and go to another Cirque du Soleil, go to some shows. I mentioned to you guys before, I would like to go to Colorado. I've always had an interest in going there. I want to go to Canada. I've always had an interest in going to Canada. I mentioned to you guys about the road trip to California. I still would like to do that. The time frame for that may change. It might become sooner now than October, since my target month to go back to work is probably late August, because my last campground stay is mid-August, I think August 14th or something like that. So anytime after August 14th, I very well may be starting back to work. So I'm going to try and do the California trip, road trip, maybe next month, as long as I am back before my mother's birthday, which is May 14th. So that might be workable, because I still have a lot of time between. I have a tax appointment to get my taxes done April the 7th. After April the 7th, I am basically free to be away and go somewhere. As far as the dentures are concerned, I can put a hold on those dentures. I can keep these a little longer until things settle down. So that's probably going to be the plan. I'm not 100% about the California road trip, but I do still have an interest in doing it. I just, once again, have to figure out when to do it. And it seems like that time frame after I finish my taxes and on April 7th would be the perfect time to take a month and do that. But I will confirm it to you guys in the next couple of days. All right, guys, that's my thoughts. That's my plan. I'm very, very grateful that you guys have allowed me to take that much, much needed break from work. Sometimes that's what you need. Sometimes you just need a longer break than what a job is willing to give you. And again, thank you guys for allowing me to take that longer break. All right, guys, that's going to wrap it up for today's video. It's been a minute since I sat down and had this type of video where I just shared my thoughts, and it also has been a minute since I've had these types of thoughts, but I did know for quite a while that, or not quite a while, but the last week or so, that I had to come up with a new direction because I felt myself getting a little tedious of the campgrounds, and I thought, okay, I should be out there visiting different cities and states and things like that, using this time much better than I have. But in the long run, and what it all comes down to is me as an individual and my personality, and that to me dictates the way that I'm going to carry on with my life. All right, guys, that's a wrap for today's video. As always, thank you guys for taking a few minutes out of your day to watch my videos. I appreciate you guys, you know that, and I'll see you guys the next time.